A sneak peek at my latest Toyota Tacoma mod. How easy is it going to be to get all this tape off of here? And I hope I don't ruin it. Let's find out. Well, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to RobMotive. That's right, today I'm going to give you a little sneak peek at my latest Toyota Tacoma mod. I'm not sure if I'm happy with it or not. We'll have to get it finished and see, but this is kind of an intermediate step, so I thought I'd put it on here because this is the point where I could really ruin it. And I know the internet loves doom and despair. So what I'm doing, I'm actually painting the engine cover. This is the first step, I guess, and then I'm going to paint the letters on the engine cover by hand separately. So what I've got is right down here, I've decided to go with like a cherry red, and you may notice I have it taped up all over the place so that it didn't bleed, or tape didn't get anywhere, or not tape, but paint didn't get anywhere on it that I didn't want it to be. But now the challenge is going to be removing the tape at the point where it's painted, you know, that seam, and hopefully the paint doesn't grab and tear the paint. It's sat for a couple days now, so I'm hoping that's not the case. So let's get into it. I'll sit you guys down here and we'll see if I can actually remove the paint, or not the paint, the tape I should say, without destroying what I've tried to accomplish. Here's another look at it you guys can see. And what I'm talking about not being real happy, you can see in here there's some rough areas, and I think that was just in the engine cover before I even started. And of course, when you paint over it with something that's shiny like what I'm using, it just accentuates those little flaws and things. I don't know. So let's go ahead, point you guys down. You can watch the carnage, which of course I hope there is none. I may speed up parts of this too, by the way, until we get to the actual seam right around the edge here. That's the most important part. So I'll speed up removing the peripheral pieces, if you will, assuming I can get a good edge. There we go. Okay, I wish we had a fast forward in real life, but that's everything off except for right around the edges. So this is the part that I'm really concerned about. Here we go. We're gonna see if I can peel this off without pulling it off around the edges. I hope so. So far, so good. Okay, looks like I was able to do it without actually pulling up on the edges. You know how paint does sometimes. If you've ever painted a wall and then around your woodwork or whatever, you pull the tape off and the paint comes off with it, kind of chips up above where you want it to not chip. Well, that's what I was concerned with here, and gotta say, it looks pretty good. Let me flip the camera around. We'll take a close look at it. Okay, got the camera flipped around. Again, these are the edges I was concerned about, that it might pull the paint up around the edges. because I did paint the inside lip of this as well. I could have just painted the flat part, but I didn't think I'd get a good clean edge in doing that. This seemed to have worked pretty well. Looks like a pretty clean edge to me. I don't really see any, which is amazing, any overspray onto the top flat part of the engine cover. That is too cool. So that's what it looks like from a distance. Get you a little bit of light in there. That's what it actually looks like. Again, there are some imperfections in the plastic. You can see right there in the light. I don't know, it doesn't bother me too much, but it's there. And when it's under the hood, laying flat under the hood like this, I don't think you're gonna really notice that because there's not gonna be a ton of light. I'm not gonna have like a spotlight on it under the hood or anything. So I think it'll be okay. Now, as I had mentioned in the painting video, if you happen to see that, my plan now is to take a paint pen, black, and I may actually get some new ones, trying to see if this is tacky at all. Doesn't feel too bad, but I am gonna wait for it to completely dry. But I'm gonna go ahead and run a paint pen in black over this to smooth out all these ridges and things. I mean, honestly, I could leave it like this, but I don't think that would look too good. It's just not black enough through there, and it looks like an unfinished job to me. But notice how the paint did not cover the letters, and it got the same coating as the whole rest of the flat surface. So I think it's because it was scuffed up a bit when I sanded it to go ahead and remove the orange I had on there. But I think the black will fill it in nicely because it's a little bit runny, these paint pens, and I think it'll soak into the pores, and I can give it 2, 3, 4, who knows, coats to kind of fill in those voids to make it look good. So that's what I'm doing. I am doing away with the orange. We're going to kind of a red, cherry red. We'll see if I can find cherry red in other accents. I kind of doubt it. I think I'm probably going to end up with more of a bright red, but that's okay. I just thought it was time to change things up a bit, and I'm going to do the inside as well. So everything that you've seen on it so far in red, or rather orange, is going to be red. Leave a comment, let me know. Have you ever done anything like this? Ever painted an engine bay cover? And how did it come out for you? And I'm really curious to hear, how did you do the letters? You know, the D4S and the V6, as well as the emblem. How did you do that? I'd be curious to know. Also, real quick, I do have 2 additional channels. RobMotive MT, that's Mary Tom, all about mini trucks. Right now, the 2022 Hyundai Santa Cruz, and RobMotive JT, all about Jeep Gladiators. Check them out, and if you're interested, please consider subscribing. Thanks for watching. Stay safe out there. Bye.